Hello everyone and welcome back to Boxverse for another day of exciting boxing news. Turki Alalshikh update on Crawford versus Canelo. Let's start with Turki Alalshikh, who has officially announced a 4-fight deal with pound-for-pound star Saul Canelo Alvarez. This agreement includes a highly anticipated bout against Terence Crawford, scheduled for September 2025.
And then Canelo here in the Kingdom, this arena, on the 3rd of May. And then we have the big fight. Bout and Canelo in September.
The deal commences with Alvarez facing Cuban contender William Skull on May 3rd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This fight aims to reclaim the IBF super middleweight title, which Alvarez lost in a previous bout.
Your super fight for September, there's so many big fights coming, but the big one is, as you say, Bud Crawford, who's ringside with you, against Canelo. Yeah. There was a time when I thought maybe that fight wouldn't happen. You tricked
with,
me.
With Riyadh season, everything happened.
Following this, the marquee matchup against Terence Crawford is set for September, with the venue yet to be confirmed. This fight has generated substantial excitement as it pits two of boxing's elite against each other. Terence Crawford has also confirmed this highly anticipated fight with Canelo Alvarez is in the process of being signed. When asked about the status of the bout, Crawford didn't hesitate, stating,
"You and Canelo is happening in September."
Yes, it is. It's going to be exciting for the sport of boxing. Stay tuned.
With two of boxing's biggest names set to collide, fans are eagerly waiting for the official details to be finalized. Eddie Hearn has weighed in on the potential Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight, and he's siding with the bigger man.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a fantastic fight. You know, two generational greats, two pound-for-pound greats. I do think the weight will be too much for Terence. I think even in the Madrimov fight, you saw that physically, I think he's, you know, even at 154, he's not a big 154. He's definitely not a big 160, and he's definitely not even a small 168.
Hearn believes Canelo's size, power, and experience at higher weight classes will be too much for Crawford, who would be making a big jump up in weight. He even suggested that Canelo could stop Crawford inside the distance.
But he has got unbelievable skill, and he's got a huge boxing IQ, but so has Canelo Alvarez, so I do give him the edge in that fight.
Do we see a stoppage?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, wow.
If Canelo's active in the fight, depends. He's got to get to him early. Yeah. Terence will be moving his feet, and Canelo won't like that. You know, he wants you to come and fight him.
Many fans and analysts are split on the fight, with some believing Crawford's speed and skill could cause problems for Canelo, while others agree with Hearn that the size difference will be the deciding factor. Then we have Bob Arum drops bombshell on Canelo versus Crawford. Bob Arum, who is not dismissing Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez despite the significant size difference. The veteran promoter, who has worked with Crawford in the past, spoke highly of his skill set, calling him a super talent who has a real chance of overcoming the weight disparity. Arum acknowledged that size could play a major role in the fight, but maintained that Crawford's superior boxing ability gives him a legitimate shot.
Well, it's a big difference in weight with Canelo and Terence, but if any fighter has a chance with Canelo, it's Terence.
At the same time, Arum admitted that picking a winner isn't easy. Canelo has faced bigger and stronger fighters before, but Arum pointed out that Crawford brings something entirely different to the table. While size matters in boxing, Arum sees Crawford's unique abilities as the X factor. Arum said, "Terence is a super talent, and he has a real chance despite the weight disparity to defeat Canelo. A real chance." Bob Arum acknowledged the massive challenge Terence Crawford faces against Canelo Alvarez, mainly due to the weight difference. While Crawford has proven himself as one of the most technically gifted fighters in the sport, stepping up against a naturally bigger opponent like Canelo comes with risks.
It's very hard because of the difference in weight. I would think that if I had to bet the fight, that I would bet Terence, because Terence has more skills than Canelo. But he's giving away a lot of weight, a lot of real weight, so that matters.
At the same time, Arum isn't ignoring the risks Crawford is taking. Moving up to fight someone as physically dominant as Canelo is a massive challenge, and it could impact how the fight plays out. Still, he believes Crawford has the mindset and ability to pull off something special.
Terence is a tremendously skilled fighter. So is Canelo a very skilled fighter. but he doesn't have the same skill set as Terence does.
If this fight happens, it won't just be about size versus skill. It will be a true test of whether Crawford's boxing IQ can overcome Canelo's raw power. Sean Porter, who has shared the ring with Terence Crawford, believes that Crawford's adaptability will be key if he faces Canelo Alvarez. Porter acknowledged that Crawford can be methodical and patient, but also pointed out how, in certain fights, he has locked in on a specific strategy rather than adjusting mid-fight.
That kind of guy where he's patient enough, knows what he needs to do. But if he prepares for one thing, you come to the ring and do something different, that I know what it was that night. That night he knew he had to impress. And he knew that, you know, if you know Terrence's style, he's trying to line up that straight left, you know. And he got to a point where that became, I gotta have this firework.
While many are skeptical about the matchup due to the weight difference, Roy Jones Jr. sees a real path to victory for Crawford. He believes that if Canelo makes even the slightest mistake, Crawford has the skills to capitalize and turn the fight in his favor. For Jones, the key to this fight is how Canelo approaches it. He knows that if Canelo gets too aggressive or strays from his game plan, Crawford could make him pay.
Yeah, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one increment of the wrong fight, he gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it go be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
Roy Jones Jr. doubled down on his thoughts about the highly anticipated showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, making it clear that size isn't the biggest factor in this fight, it's strategy. Jones, a former multi-division champion himself, understands what it takes to move up in weight and compete against bigger opponents. Jones stated, if Canelo comes out and does what he should do, he wins the fight, but if he comes out and does what he shouldn't do, Crawford wins. Roy Jones Jr. didn't just analyze the fight, he also offered advice to Terence Crawford on how to beat Canelo Alvarez. Jones, a legend known for his ring IQ, believes that controlling the center of the ring is the key to Crawford's success. Jones stated, if Crawford is allowed to control the center, he'll win. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan isn't questioning Terence Crawford's talent, but he is raising a major concern, whether Crawford can handle the sheer size and power of Canelo Alvarez. As one of the most respected voices in combat sports, Rogan understands just how skilled Crawford is. However, moving up in weight to face a fighter as strong and experienced as Canelo is no small task.
Yes, he's gonna fight Canelo.
Oh man!
I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him, because Canelo hits so hard, man.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah. Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit.
They tried to say that, like, Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him, because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago.
Many fans and analysts share the same doubt. Can Crawford, who has dominated smaller opponents, deal with the relentless power of a true super middleweight? Despite the size disadvantage, Rogan made it clear that Crawford's skill level is among the best in the sport. He highlighted Crawford's ability to switch stances effortlessly, something few fighters can do at an elite level. This unpredictability, along with his sharp fight IQ, makes him a dangerous opponent for anyone. Rogan believes that if Crawford can use his movement and timing to control the fight, he has a real chance. But against a powerhouse like Canelo, the margin for error is razor thin.
I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. He's so slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like, you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up. You know,
super accurate.
Oh, like, just knows so much about boxing, about where to be and what's coming. And
Brian "Bomac" McIntyre fired back at critics who downplay Terence Crawford's resume, making it clear that Crawford's dominance is what makes his opponents seem lesser. His point was simple: Crawford's skill level is so high that he dismantles top opponents with ease, making them appear average. This is the same argument many have made when discussing whether he can compete with Canelo Alvarez. While some doubt Crawford's ability to handle the weight jump, Bomac sees no reason why this fight should be any different.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say he hasn't fought nobody, or no everybody that he fought was a no name. But I'm gonna tell you like this: what Crawford said, well, they was something until Crawford fought him. So obviously he's doing a great job because he's making everybody look normal.
Bomac doubled down on Crawford's mentality heading into the fight, emphasizing that Crawford isn't looking for any special conditions. He just wants to prove he's the best. Bomac said, "That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best. So hey, why put stipulations in there when you know that you can be the best? So let's go test ourselves," Lamont warns Gervonta Davis. Okay, now moving on to the most talked about and most criticized fight, as some think this is not a worthy matchup, Gervonta versus Lamont fight. The tension between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach has been boiling over throughout the build-up to their fight, with multiple heated confrontations leading to physical altercations. Despite these clashes, Roach made it clear that while things have gotten intense, there's still a level of respect between them.
There's a level of respect. Like I said, it ain't no beef or nothing like that. Like, he normally got issues with everybody he fight, or for the most part, or like he on his antics, or he basically bullying somebody. So, you know, that shit ain't gonna happen over here. But it's like it's mutual. It's a mutual ground of respect for sure.
Roach continued by emphasizing his focus and determination, making it clear that he isn't letting the back and forth with Davis distract him from the ultimate goal, winning. Unfazed by the mind games and physical confrontations leading up to the bout, Roach isn't just here to make a statement. He's coming to win, and he's made it clear that he's willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen.
Set out to be the best. I can't let that get in the way of what I'm set out to do. And it's competition. It's competition. And it can only be one winner. It can't be two winners. It can only be one winner. So it's either gonna be you or me. And I'm gonna get you before you get me.
Roach didn't just talk about winning. He promised an unforgettable fight. Confident in the matchup, he made it clear that fans are in for something special when he steps into the ring with Davis. Roach said, "It's gonna be up for fight of the year, I'm telling you. It's definitely going to be a spectacle for sure." With all the animosity, back and forth exchanges, and intense build-up, Roach believes this fight won't just be another bout. It will be one of the most exciting showdowns of the year. Now the question remains, can he back up his words when the bell rings? Roach also broke down his approach to the fight, making it clear that he's not just showing up. He's coming in with a strategy to test Davis like never before.
You gotta go in there knowing that, you know what I'm saying, like, you ready. And then my thing is, we're gonna see how he reacts if he get hit with this punch, especially a clean one.
Lamont Roach Jr. isn't just another name on Gervonta Davis's hit list. He's coming in with a plan, confidence, and a skill set that could make this fight much more competitive than people expect. Michael Fox believes this is a real chess match, not just another showcase of Tank's power.
Yeah, definitely gonna be competitive. The thing about both fighters, Tank and Lamont, they're both very impressive boxers. A lot of people forget that just because, you know, Tank is also, you know, a big puncher, but you know, this is gonna be chess. It's gonna be chess. It's gonna be both guys trying to one up each other a bunch of times. So
Fox sees Roach as a fighter who brings something different to the table. While Tank is known for his knockout ability, Roach's boxing IQ, defense, and composure could create problems that Davis hasn't faced before. Being in the ring with Lamont, his fight IQ is going to really show in this fight, Fox explained. He's very athletic, very reactive when punches come back at him. His defense is pretty top-notch.
We know Tank had the equalizer, but the biggest difference in, I feel, in Lamont versus Tank's other opponents, we all know Tank a different way than everybody he's fought against previously.
Fox also compared Roach to some of Tank's past opponents, noting that while Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin had their moments, they didn't possess the complete skill set Roach does. Roach is a smarter, more calculated fighter, he added. "I think people are sleeping on how good he really is."
Based on skill, I think it's definitely going to challenge Tank more than some of the other fighters. Ryan, you know, he had a big punch, but Ryan, to me, has never been an overly impressive boxer. Very good punch, very big puncher. You can't deny that. But as far as, you know, Frank Martin, he was a good boxer himself, but I think he kind of gassed himself out.
The stage is set for a high-stakes battle, and if Roach can execute his game plan, he might just make things interesting. But with Tank's fight-ending power, the margin for error is razor-thin. Beterbiev versus Bivol trilogy. Now you know boxing is never stopping, and the thriller is never ending. This is the world where both the fights between Beterbiev and Bivol went into controversy, and the scorecard was declined by many pros. Now amidst all the chaos, a trilogy is being demanded.
He deserves it, and we want to see the third.
We'll see the third fight now.
Yeah.
Do you think Dimitri Bivol had done enough tonight?
Yeah, if Artur accepts, we will have the third.
Even Turki Alalshikh has announced that a trilogy might happen if the fighters agree, and they have the capacity and time to fight again. On Ariel Helwani's show, Jim Lampley weighed in on what could come next after Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, suggesting that the winner might move on to face David Benavidez. While many expect a potential rematch or even a trilogy between Canelo and Crawford, Lampley pointed out that nothing is guaranteed.
It's fair to go to a Benavidez fight rather than, not all trilogies have to take place 1, 2, 3.
Right.
You know, in consecutive order. And these two guys have given a great deal of themselves and shown their commitment in fighting the 2 fights that they've fought against each other. If either one of them wants to, you know, divert his attention to another fight and engage in another enterprise, I strongly support that. They need to have the right to govern their careers the way they want to.
He explained that despite the hype, neither fighter can be forced into another bout if they feel they've settled things. Even if they are ready to move on, the demand from fans and promoters could still push for another fight.
I was trading observations in a phone call with a very dear friend of mine who's a great screenwriter and an avid and devoted boxing fan, and his comment was, I want to see Benavidez now.
Yeah.
This is the moment for me to see Bivol against Benavidez.
His comments reflected the unpredictable nature of boxing. While some rivalries end after 1 or 2 fights, others take on a life of their own, especially if the demand is strong enough. Whether it's Benavidez next or a historic trilogy, the direction of both fighters' careers will ultimately depend on how the first fight unfolds.
Or even Beterbiev against Benavidez. You know, whichever fight can be made and should be made, let's go forward to that one. And I understood his thought process and can certainly identify with that, but if we're going to go to the third fight between Beterbiev and Bivol, I'm ready for that too.
Where Bivol is celebrating his win and gaining his title back, there is a sad environment in Beterbiev's camp. Mark Ramsey reflected on the fight and the intense preparation leading up to it. He acknowledged the effort put in behind the scenes, emphasizing the hard work and dedication that went into the training camp. He expressed how much work went into preparing for this moment, emphasizing the dedication and sacrifice that took place in the gym. While the result wasn't what they had hoped for, he made it clear that the sport goes on, and there are always lessons to take away from every fight. Ramsey said, "It's a lot of deception. This is a big work under the scene with more than 12 weeks of hard work in the gym. The conclusion of the fight is not what we want, but at the end of the day, nobody's dead." Hamza Shiraz draws against Carlos Adames. Boxing is so full of thrill that where there is a big fight happening, there are some mishaps as well, like Hamza Shiraz, who split a draw against WBC middleweight champion Carlos Adames. Journalist Thomas Hauser revealed that Shiraz's underwhelming performance upset a lot of plans, as many saw this fight as a stepping stone toward a potential showdown with the Mexican superstar.
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm an overachiever, you know what I mean? I'm an overachiever. I'm very blessed. But yeah, we'll go back to the drawing board with Ricky and we'll fix our errors.
Despite claims of a hand injury from Shiraz's team, Adames dominated from the opening bell. Many believed Shiraz's management had chosen Adames as the weakest link among the middleweight champions, but the fight proved otherwise. Adames outworked and pressured Shiraz throughout, making him look uncomfortable. Fans expected Shiraz to make a statement, but instead he struggled, leading some to question if he was ever truly ready for the spotlight.
Frank Warren pointed out there might be a hand injury there.
Yeah, no excuses. I've got a hand injury, but listen, that's got nothing to do with the outcome of the fight.
Commiserations.
No worries, thank you.
Amir Khan weighed in on Hamza Shiraz's controversial draw against Carlos Adames, expressing disappointment in the result. The former world champion expected Shiraz to make a statement, but felt the performance fell short of proving he belongs at the elite level.
What are your reaction on the scorecard?
I mean, could have gone either way, you know, close fight it was.
Khan acknowledged that Shiraz has talent, but questioned whether he was truly ready for this level of competition. He noted that Adames controlled much of the fight, applying constant pressure and making Shiraz uncomfortable in key moments. While the draw saved Shiraz from an official loss, Khan hinted that the performance did little to boost his credibility, especially with talks of a future showdown with Canelo Alvarez.
Do you think it's fair to call it a draw?
I mean, a lot of people are going to say Adames did a lot more, threw a lot more punches and stuff. But look, it was a close fight anyway, so however, the judges know better, you know.
Do you have any advice for Hamza?
Yeah, I mean, go back in the gym and train hard again and come back stronger.
Awesome.
So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.